So, Amy, well, I want to welcome all of you to the call tonight. My name's Anita Dixon, and I could not be more excited to introduce Stacy Turner tonight. She's going to be doing a call that lots of people have been asking for quite a while. And without anything further, I'm going to go ahead and read Stacy's bio because it really needs to be read. Stacy started Juice Plus as a 24-year-old mom of a 1-year-old. She promoted to sales coordinator in 6 months and moved across the country a week later. They had 2 more babies in 19 months, so that's 3 kids under 3. Another move across the country 3 years later, and the crash of her husband's business woke her up to the stability that the Juice Plus business could offer. Working with 3 young kids at home, she moved from sales coordinator to qualifying national marketing director in less than 3 years. And you guessed it, they moved across the country again. With NMD goals, she continued forward, rebuilding with each move, and made national marketing director in one of the hardest years of her life. Add 1 more move across the country, and she was promoted to international marketing director. Right now, you will find Stacy in the Southwest desert of New Mexico in a small town of about 13,000 people. Stacy has been with Juice Plus for almost 20 years now and has had the joy of raising her family in this community. Her kids are now 21, 19, and 18. She has been married to her wonderful husband, Jarrett, for 25 years. She has a heart for helping families with their nutrition and helping people build stable income for their families. She is the creator of the DMOplanner and is here to share with us tonight 3 things she feels are really important in helping team move forward to reach their goals. So, Stacy, we're so thrilled that you're with us, and I'm going to turn it right over to you.
Thank you so much, Anita, Amy and Anita, all the NMDs on your team. I really appreciate you letting me share tonight and asking me to be a part of this and a part of your team. I love coaching. I love training. And I just hope that some of the things I can share with you guys will be impactful for you. We are definitely going to talk about building rhythms into our chaotic days, right? Nita's description of my life when kids were little reminded me of that chaos it felt like at times, and just the drive I had to just keep moving forward. And with the kids older, it's definitely much more relaxed. The house stays clean. It's great, but it wasn't always that way. So I would love to share my screen. I don't know if somebody needs to make me a co-host or how that was going to work. If you can do that for me, Amy, that would be great. All right. It's always hard to see with the black marks on here where I'm at. Okay, here we go. And one more share. Sorry, that's taking me so long. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to minimize myself over here. All right, so just really talking tonight about creating consistency with DMO. So DMO, daily method of operation, we've heard that. If you haven't heard the acronym before, you will. Maybe you're new to our Juice Plus world, maybe new to building your business. And really, to me, it is a powerful system that creates rhythm, that creates consistency, that creates results. And I think that's what we're all here for. So let's just talk through that of what is that going to look like why do we even need DMO? So Anita shared some of our journey with you. I just wanted to kind of put some pictures to the words that she shared. Like she said, I started at 24, multiple moves across the country, and now to the point where we're launching kids into adulthood. It's such an amazing journey that it has been for us. And so I just kind of share these pictures with you and kind of this timeline, because in 20 years of business, I've seen, business booming. I've seen business, in a dip to where you're frustrated, just not seeing the growth that you want. That can be seasons within your life. It can be economic seasons that are outside of your control. It could be seasons in your team members' lives, right? Like there's a lot that we cannot control in our business, but one thing that we can impact greatly is our own activity. I've said before, like I can't make somebody else work, but I can make myself work. I can get to work myself. And so through all of the distractions of infants and toddlers to elementary to the crazy busy schedules of high schoolers, just all of it, and in between, the moves across the country, distraction is the way of life. And how do we get through that? How do we work through that? How do we work around that? How do we work with that, really, is one of those big questions. And so a lot of times people will say, oh, you just need to manage your time better. But I just want to encourage you, let go of that idea of time management. We can't speed the clock up. We can't slow it down. Catherine Lee is great at teaching us those two things. We cannot manage time, but we can manage the choices that you make in that time. And instead, let's really find a productive rhythm to our day of what, where and what we spend our time with, so that we're getting payoff activity and results as well. So let's just kind of think of it that way. What is DMO? Daily method of operation. Like I said earlier, it's productive time committed to business building activity that's going to build momentum. Okay, so actually I'm going to go back one slide, because there's all kinds of DMO that we do on a daily basis that you just may not even recognize that that's what it is. It's in almost any type of business or job that you have. I have a picture here of a dental assistant in an office. I worked as an assistant before I had kids, and there was definitely a method to our day if we wanted it to operate well, right? So we knew what patient was coming in at what time, what we were going to be doing, what procedure, what tools we needed. We would prep that room. We knew what was coming next. And that kept the rhythm or the flow of that office going. If we didn't have the lady at the front desk working with us and telling us what's next, it would have been choppy. If we just had walk-ins coming in all the time, people would be waiting a long time. We would be much slower. The flow of that day was much more productive because we had a method to that. Think about a teacher. Her DMO is her lesson plan. Right? She knows that on Sunday or the weekend or however she does that planning, that when she plans, she has a much better week ahead of her. The kids know what to expect that day because it's already been planned and she follows that plan. It's not chaotic because she knows what they're going to be doing and she knows how much time they're going to be spending on something and when it's time to move to the next thing. So that is just two examples of what DMO would look like in our everyday life. Even from just your household, you get up at a certain time, what do you do next and the next and the next, and then consistently doing that builds in good habits or bad habits, right? So that's what DMO is. And why do we need that? Children's schedule, household chores. I put this picture of this girl in here because I thought she just looked cute and so happy. And I wish that I looked that happy cleaning and doing chores, but it's a choice, right? We can choose that. But housework, I was saying this morning on our call, it's like the dishwasher dings that it's ready or that it's clean. And I'm like, oh, I need to go unload the dishwasher. Or somebody knocks on the door, just something that is easily distracting the time that we put into our business. business, and family schedules shift and change. You know, our schedule when they were infants and toddlers looked very different than when they were in school. And my day looked very different at that point when you have to pick up kids and they're on different schedules and they have, you know, practice or games and that sort of thing. Just can be a conflict of time between your schedule, your spouse's schedule. You know, you've got the distractions of social media. I have a timer set on my phone, but I think I need to give my husband the passcode for me to unlock it, because I find myself unlocking it way too many times during the day. But if we don't put any parameters to our social media, it can just get to where we're just scrolling and scrolling and looking, and we get lost in that. Some of you may have full-time jobs where your hours are really limited that you can spend on your DMO. And so you're going to have to find times to carve that out to be really productive with that, because it is limited. But you may have a lot of time to do the business. And I find I waste as much time as I put into the business some days, to where I'm like, what have I done here? And so if I'm not careful, I can just get distracted by interruptions and always think, okay, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that. Oh yeah, I'm going to make that call. I'm going to do that thing. And then something else drags my attention away. So I'm sure you can relate to some of that for sure. So just like with Juice Plus, consistency is key. You know, the Juice Plus on your shelf does nothing for your health. And the idea of doing business, such as, I don't know, cleaning my desk, posting on Facebook, scrolling through Facebook, maybe sending one or two people a message like, hey, hope you're having a great day. All of that can seem like I'm doing business, but it's really not activity that's going to move forward. It's like you have to consume Juice Plus for it to do something with your health. You have to actually do DMO, and the different components of that we're going to talk about is really what's going to build that consistency. So what does that look like? Sometimes it's been called the 2x2x2x2. I know that's what, and I got started, that's what they would call it. And I was like, what is this? Are we building walls? You know, what are these boards, and what's this whole thing about? But it really is having 2 new Juice Plus conversations per day. So this is daily method of operation, right? So on a daily basis, you're having 2 new Juice Plus conversations. You're doing 2 effective follow-up connections with someone you've already had a conversation with. 2 connections with your customers, so that you're taking care of them, checking on them. Is their next box shipping? Are they ready for that? Just are they taking the product? Have they had any results? Would they like to share on social media? Do they have somebody they would like to refer to you? Partner connections. As you're building your team at the very beginning, you're going to be much heavier on the conversations with new people than you are probably on the partner contacts, but those are also important. We know that often our partners are going to come from happy customers, whether they've been on the product, 20 minutes and they've just ordered their product, and you're inviting them to the team, and then you're giving them next steps, right? Next step, let's get you on boards, let's get you into the system, let's get you set up. Those are our partner connections and contacts with them. And then 3-way connections are super important too. So 3-way connections is really where a lot of belief building and vision breathing happens. So a 3-way connection would be like myself. When I was new, I didn't know anything about health and nutrition, and I definitely didn't know anything about business, but I knew Sharon did. And so I would connect her with the people I was talking to. Sometimes I knew the answers to the questions they were asking, but I just didn't love the way the flow of the conversation was going. And I knew I could bring her into the conversation, and she could help answer that in a much more confident way than I could. And she could direct them to the point of actually ordering, where maybe I was more hesitant at that at first. So that would sound something like, we're talking and they ask me a question. I would say, you know what, that's a great question. I'm sort of new at this and I really want to make sure that I get you the right answer. Can I connect you? Let me see if my friend Sharon can get on the phone with us. And I know that she's going to be able to give you the answer that you're looking for. Hold on just a second. Let me see if I connect her. Then I would put her into the 3-way conversation. I would just say, Sharon, this is my friend. We've been chatting Juice Plus, and she has this question. You've been taking this longer than I have. Can you help us out with this? What is, and then I would ask the question, and then Sharon would take over. So I learned how to answer questions better. I learned how to just build my own confidence with the verbiage that I heard from her. I learned how to present. I learned how to ask for the sale. So the more people I connected to her, the faster I was getting customers. When I was trying to do it all on my own, I just didn't have the skill set to do that. So if you are new, definitely doing three-way connections with your upline is super important. And if you have a team, doing those three-way connections with them is important. And especially your new team, have them get their people in front of you so that you can help them build really consistent and just really good conversations that actually move people forward versus lagging behind on like, okay, when is the next event, or have they watched the video, that type of thing. And events are another way to do that. Honestly, events are just a bigger validation, like a three-way connection between you and the doctor that's on the video that you're playing, or that you guys are watching on Zoom, or that you're doing as the presentation itself. So events are where our business is at. If we're not doing events, I promise you're not building your business. I've never seen somebody grow their business, and maybe they have in other types of businesses, but not without Juice Plus, because one of the big things that sets us apart with Juice Plus and really moves people forward is the education that we have and that we offer. That's very different than just selling, I don't know, a makeup product. There's a paradigm shift that has to happen in people's minds. They really need the educational side, and bringing people together and building community. It's so important. And when we're learning together, it's just really cool to be able to share stories and for them to hear somebody else that they already know saying the same thing that you have. It's great validation. And if you pass out those order forms at the end and you really guide them to ordering and getting started, it's very often you'll get those orders in. It brings the conversation, it shortens that conversation time, which is really beneficial, right? And you can get a lot of people in the room. So making sure you're inviting to those events, and then also pouring into ourselves. We can only grow, our business can only grow as much as we grow personally. And you guys have already heard, I'm sure, that this is a personal development program designed as a business and is disguised as a business. And it's so true. It is. Like, if I'm stuck, it's because I really need to shift my mindset. I need to learn a new skill or relearn it or shift that skill into, a different season. Or I need to look at my activity, and I may just not be doing enough to really be in front of enough people and starting new conversations. And so that's what DMO looks like with our business, and touching on all of these every day is really important. Some days you might do like all follow-up, where you're just on a roll and you just, follow up with those people. But sometimes the time of day that you're following up isn't going to work for the person that you've been sharing with. And so you're going to need to do some evening type follow-up, and that's totally fine. Or maybe one day you're just really, just pumping out the customer care calls and text messages and getting that customer care done. That's fine. But what at the end of the week, we need to really look at, have we talked to 10 new people? Have we followed up with 10 people we've shared with? Have we touched base with at least 10 customers? Have we spoken to 10 of our team members or partners? Are we doing three-way calls? What is the event that was on the calendar for this week? Have we invited to that? And have we invested in ourselves? That's what DMO looks like for us. And so there's lots of ways to track that. It's one thing to think you can keep it in your head. I promise you, you cannot. We think, oh yeah, I'll remember that person's name. There's no way I could forget this conversation. You can write things down on a sticky note and napkins, and you can have a lot of things in a different places, or you can find a way to get it more concise and in one place. And so I'm going to show with you guys a couple of options for you. One is the DMO planner. If you're on boards, it's under the Campbell team, and then you're going to look on Juice Plus Business, and then you're going to go to DMO planner. It's a sheet that looks just like this, and you're going to print that out, and then you would have your DMO planner, a weekly paper that you would use and print out each week. This is what I started with. This is what really helped me formulate these rhythms of my day, especially when the kids were little and I had very little time. If every time I had a few minutes to sit down and or to do some business work, if I had to sit down and think through, okay, who am I going to call? Who did I talk to last? Like, I would lose so much time each time I had 10-minute blocks or just little stolen moments. And so what I found is if I would plan out my week ahead of time and I had written all of these down, then when I had time, I already had their name, their number, I knew what category they fit in. And I just went down that list that day, talk to this person, this person, this person, this person, and I would just get it done. And so at the end of the week, I would have a whole page that was highlighted and names were filled in. And I was so encouraged. And I saw that the more consistent I was with that, then the more results that I was getting. And I knew that would help me invest the time when it came to the point where I could invest time. I knew I would do it because it was effective. I could see the results of that. So maybe some of you are on Teamsy, or if you've heard of Teamsy, it's the same concept, but it's going to be on your computer. And Teamsy, I think, is around $23 a month that you would pay for that. It gives you reminders of who to connect with. Those people's names pop up. You put in your goals. It's a really incredible system. If you want to be all digital, I would suggest this is probably the best bet for you. There are other apps and things that you can use. You just got to find the one, but this is specific to network marketing, and it's a great tool. My only issue with this is it was sort of out of sight, out of mind. I like having something in front of me that I could take with me, that I could easily open. I didn't have to log on. I didn't have to get in. And there's a little less thinking with this. Like, the setup is kind of extensive when you're putting all of your data in, but then once it's in there, it kind of feeds you the next steps, where I would say it's more thinking on your part when you've got it on paper. But this is an option for you to do Teamsy, and you would do that on your computer or on your phone. Even just a notebook, like somewhere that this is your Juice Plus Business notebook that you're going to write things down, and it's going to be in one place. Because if it's sticky notes and papers, those get lost. They end up, put in a bag or thrown away or tucked under something, and you're always looking for information. And just having a sense of disorganization in your mind is really going to transfer over to your time as well. And so you just want to have some place that at least all of that information is being brought together. So consistent DMO really is about being intentional. Like I said, the distractions of life are going to pull at you and, kind of take your attention away. So it takes being intentional about the conversations that we're having. DMO is actually professional. Think about it. If you're talking to someone and you say, I'm really excited to hear what you have to say about this video. I really want to get your opinion on this. I'm going to connect with you in a couple of days. Is Thursday or Friday better? And they say Thursday. Okay, great. Thursday in the afternoon? Yeah, around 4. All right, awesome. I'll connect with you on Thursday at 4 and let me know what you think of it. Now, if on Thursday at 4, I don't call them because I don't know, I've come up with some story in my head that I don't want them to think that I'm selling them something, then I'm unprofessional. I dropped the ball. That doesn't look good on me. It doesn't look good on the company. Doesn't look good on the product. We want to keep that positive thought process in their mind at all times as much as we can. And being a professional about follow-up is really important. But if I have sticky notes and if I have notebooks and I have papers, the chance that I'm going to just remember things on my own or be organized with the follow-up, people's names are going to get dropped. Times are not going to be called, back on certain times that I had said that I would. The ball is going to drop because I can't keep it in my head, and I just don't do well with papers all over the place. If I want to be professional, I need to act like a professional. Like I said, a teacher has lesson plans where they plan things out. She's a professional. That's her job. Juice Plus is my job. This is my career, and I want to be professional in that. And follow up is an important aspect to that, if not one of the most important aspects. And having a plan and a system with that is super important. And really, that's essential to making money, to being able to build income with this. Now, I know some of you may not be comfortable with that, and you might say, look, Stace, I'm just here to help people. I just want to share. And, if the conversation comes up, great, but I don't know about this whole thing of writing people's names down and like following up with them and checking in what they think of the video and, inviting them to events and things like that. Like that just seems like it's just kind of a little outside of my comfort zone. And I just want to encourage you, it's outside of mine too. Not so much now, but before absolutely is. And that is a feeling that is shared by every single person that's ever done this business, most of them, right? Like it is uncomfortable because it's not our typical way that we do things. It's not a typical job or a daily routine. This is just stepping into something new. But if we really want to be building income, then it is essential that we have a DMO. It just definitely is. Just like that dental office, to have a well-run business, they need a DMO. So do we. And I just want to encourage you, good people do good things with money. What you guys are doing and sharing with people is good. It's good work that makes an impact on people's lives. It's important work, and your time is valuable, and it's essential that you get compensated for the time that you put into this. It's okay to get paid to do good work. So if that's ever been an issue in your mind, I just encourage you, let go of that, embrace that you are doing a good thing and that your time is valuable and you deserve to be compensated for that time. And having a DMO is essential to building income. So why do I say that to you? Like, why in this part of the story? Because Juice Plus became plan A for us overnight with one email. It was like our third move across the country in a second. I don't know. I lose count. The kids were little. My husband had his own internet business. It was doing great, had been for a couple of years. We knew it wasn't stable like for decades or anything, but we had really fallen in love with this house and bought this house. And had his income continued with his online business, we would have paid it off in a year. However, just 2 months after we moved to this new house, this is where the town that we grew up in, it's where my parents live, where my sister and her family lived. I mean, it's where I thought we would grow old together. That's why we bought this house. Like we were going to stay put here. 2 months in, my husband walks into the kitchen and he says, it's over. He had received one email overnight that completely shut down his whole business, from thousands a month to nothing in one email. Guys, it was shocking. We just stood in the kitchen and we're trying to think, like, what are we going to do? Like, we just bought this house and moved across country. Like, how are we going to pay this $2,000 a month mortgage payment? My husband didn't have the skill set for the area that we lived in. Was he going to go back to work? Was he going to start another job? Did I have to go back to work as a dental assistant? And he even threw the words out there of like, we could have to foreclose on this house. And I don't know, guys, like something rose up in me and I said, no. And I remember hitting my fist on the counter and I said, no, we will not foreclose on this house. I will make the payment. I will make this. I can make this. I can build income, Jarrett. I've built, $750 a month is about what I was making at that point. And I was like, I can make this payment. I don't want to go back to work. I want to be home with my kids. I mean, I had my sister and my mom that they could watch the kids. I wanted to raise them. And I just was like, no, I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay putting the kids in daycare, and I'm not okay losing this house. Like, I will make this payment. And guys, I got serious. I didn't have a lot of time. The kids were little. They were all at home with me. I had stolen moments, but I had a strong desire and a strong belief. I had seen Sharon and Julie and Amy, and they were progressing in this business. They were getting promoted. And I thought, why not me? I can do this. They're doing the same activity. If I do the right activity, if I follow the systems that are in place, I can do this too. And so I just got to work. I went to work, and within that, I needed a system, and I was printing off that DMO sheet every week, and I had that sheet with me, but it just kind of became messy. I was putting it into a binder, and my creative mind of always trying to find solutions to things, I thought, what if I put this into a planner? And honestly, this was after probably like 2 good full years of using the planner, and I was seeing progression. Like Anita said, I went from sales coordinator to QNMD in about a 2.5-year period. I was doing as many business presentations as I was customer, and just prospect presentations or product presentations. I knew my time was limited, and I needed a team of people that had networks that I wouldn't be able to reach without them. They had time that I just couldn't multiply mine, but I could multiply our effort through them. And so the first DMO planner was created. I found a printer and a binder, and I worked and got these made and printed. It was just a lot of fun. I was sharing them at conference, and people were buying them. I had a website that my husband made, so that's me, younger blonde me there. But found ourselves moving once again across country, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just got to QNMD. Like, how is this team gonna, function without me, right? And my now NMD Gloria Hare stepped up in such a beautiful way and just continued the work that I was doing, because people are not duplicatable, but systems are. A system of a daily method that you can teach a new person. This is what it looks like to do our business. And this is what it looks like to do events and to talk to people and start new conversations. Gloria picked up on that. And then she continued that on, and she taught her team. And they just have an amazing team in Northern New Mexico that I'm so proud of. And so, like I said, we found ourselves moving across country again. I eventually sold out of those planners. We just didn't have the income to print them again, because it was a big chunk of money to print those, and we just didn't have that at that time. So it just kind of sat in the back of my mind for 12 years. And then 2020 hit, right? Everyone has all this extra time. I was trying to up-level my skills, continue learning new things. And so I redesigned it through Canva, actually. And I just found this was a timeless system that didn't change in 12 years. I was still doing the same work. Maybe the methods of how I was sharing was changing, but it was still the same basic system, proven results with myself and with my team. And I just needed that tool again. I needed a tool. I would buy planners. I don't know if you guys have done this, where I'm buying a planner and then I'm trying to fit that planner into our business, and I would just get frustrated, and maybe I would use it for a few weeks or something, maybe a month, and then I just wouldn't end up using it anymore. And so I just recognized this was a way to give back to this amazing community that had poured into me. So I redesigned the planner, and that's where the DMO planner that many of you guys have seen or are using was actually born. So this is what it looks like. And I'm going to walk through with you guys what I actually do and how I use it, so that you can see it firsthand. So this is the DMO page. Look, remember the 2x2 that I talked about? That's exactly what this is. It's the activity, and you can plan ahead. So on Sunday night, you can take some time, maybe 30 minutes, to sit down. Where are you going to be? Who are you going to be around? Who can you share with? Write those names down. Who do you need to follow up with? Whose orders are shipping, or what customer care can you do to reach out? Who do you want to connect with as partners? What 3-way calls would you like to set up and get done this week? You can write all of that out ahead of time. And then throughout the week, as calls happen, you highlight them. As other activity happens, you write their name in and highlight it. At the end of the week, you have this sheet that you have all of these names highlighted. It's so encouraging, because you're like, look what I did. I did this in my spare time. I was able to really work this well. So it's a way to track the conversations that you're happening, or that are happening, and the conversations that you're having. Now, I've had people say, you know what, Stacy, the DMO planner just doesn't work for me. And I would say it doesn't work for me either. I was joking on our call this morning. It's never written a name on its own, ever, not even once. The pen never just jumps up and starts writing people's names. It's never texted anyone for me, not even one time, right? I say that jokingly, but we have to go to work. The DMO planner is only going to work for me if I'm working and I'm writing people's names down, and the next week I'm doing activity, and the next week and the next week, right? The idea is when we're writing it in here, it's going to make our follow-up so much easier, right? Because I have a list of the people that I've had conversations with. That's going to build my follow-up for that next week. It's going to build who I invite to events, right? If I know I've talked to those person and next exposure would be inviting them to the event, I'm going to write their names down and I'm going to make sure that I send them a message or I invite them to that event. So that's what the event section is. It's a place to write down everyone's name that you invite. Doesn't matter if they come or not. If you invite them, write their names down. And then if they say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to be out of town, I wish I could, underline them. Those people are interested. They responded back to you. That's amazing. If they actually come, circle their names, and then that's really going to build your follow-up for that next week as well. So that's how I use the event section of that, the DMO pages. Now, the to-do list at the top of that page, you can do it a couple ways. You can do it like as priority planning. Again, that's a brilliant concept that Catherine Lee has taught us. And you can do, by topic or a list of things that you need to do in a certain area. Like I run a mom's group. And so on the weeks that I have Mom's Life, I'm going to be working on the PowerPoint. I'm going to call about childcare and make sure that that's all good. I'm make sure the craft is ready. I'm going to, reserve tables, whatever it takes to, be ready for that. And if I list it, it's out of my head. As I get it done, I highlight it. Again, it just is such a sense of accomplishment at the end of that week. But maybe you would rather have it say Monday through Friday, and you want to list the people that you're going to talk to, the places that you're going to be. Maybe it's the kids' schedule, whatever that looks like. It's blank for you. You get to customize it to what you need in those spaces. You can even put some times on the end. Most of the time, if it's an appointment I need to keep up with, I put it in my phone versus in the planner. It does have a monthly page that has a calendar that you can write on. Some really beautiful pages at the beginning where you can think through like what your one word is going to be and writing down your goals and your 30 reasons why you want to do this business. And I encourage you, don't skip those. Like those are really important. Those are in there for a reason. At the beginning of the month, there's some questions to reflect on the last month. What went well? What needs to change? What needs more of your attention? What did go well? And where do you want to continue your activity or your attention for the next month? What are your intentions for the next month? What are the goals? Are you 5-1-1, getting somebody to the next promotion? What does that look like? Take some time to reflect and plan ahead. And it just really builds more confidence and like helps you really take it serious, and then builds that into your subconscious mind as well. So if you get stuck, sometimes you ever feel like you're just like, I want to do business, but I'm really not sure what to do. At the bottom of the page, the DMO page, there is activities that are suggestions for you to do. So if you did each of these all week, this is 12 different suggestions of what to do. Sometimes it's ideas of what to post. It's ask a current customer or not right now for a referral, kind of outside of maybe what your typical activity is going to look like, but that can help generate some more activity, and it just kind of builds on each other. So as you do these, you can mark the box off that you did it, make a goal to mark all of those off. Those change every week and they repeat every 5 weeks. So it's a refresh each week of this activity suggestions for you. It was also important for me to have contact sheets of the people that I was talking to at the back of that planner, so that it wasn't on sticky notes and pieces of information or just in my phone, that I could keep an active list of the people I was currently speaking to and also following up with. I do tally marks here on the right-hand side. We know it takes 7 to 9 exposures to speak to someone. If we've only spoken to them 3 times and I see that I've just got 3 tally marks there, I'm like, no, I I need to follow up again. I know that's 5 to 7, 7 to 9 times. Like it's only been 3, it's not 7. I'm going to call that person again, or I'm going to send them another message, or I'm going to invite them. And it's often on that 5th or 6th exposure that I actually start seeing the results from that. People are busy. They just need reminders. They've got a lot of noise in their life too. We need to offer a lot of grace without expectation, doing the activity, knowing that those activities are going to get results. It always does. It always does. Just trust that system there. So where do you get this planner? You can go to the DMOplanner.com. This is a 6-month planner, and you get to make it fit your business. So it's built for our type of business with network marketing, but really, honestly, with Juice Plus in mind, because that's what I've done for 20 years. And so it's built around our business. There's 2 different options, the original and then also the adventure style. I also have an app that you can join. This app has some different course material that's built into that. You can scan that code right there. And our Monday morning recordings are on that as well. So there's some mini courses that I've put so that you can use those with your team, and you can begin to train your team, and just some materials that will help encourage you moving forward in your own growth. And then also as you step into leadership with them, there's paid versions and there's a free version. You choose what you want and which one works for you. Every Monday morning, I would love to invite you guys to join us. We have a beautiful DMO Pro community that you can hop on Zoom with us at 9 Mountain Time every Monday morning. And this is business training and coaching that I do with you. Again, this is specific to our business. I feel like we get a lot of training and information about the product, right? So we know there's all these events about the product, and yet there's not a whole lot of coaching from a business perspective. And so that's my heart's desire, is to bring that to you. The things that I've learned over 20 years from personal experience, from my team, from books that I'm reading, from podcasts that I'm listening to, from questions that I get from you guys. We have group discussion at the end, and it's just a great time to really give your business some focus of learning business skills. And we talk about mindset, we talk about skill set, we talk about activity and marketing yourself. It's always going to be one of those 4. And then those Zoom recordings are housed in the app, and then they're also in the Voxer chat. And one last thing I wanted to encourage you guys with is this power hour, the magic of 1 hour. This QR code will get you into the Facebook group. I feel like this beautifully works well together with our DMO planner and this power hour, where it's 1 hour of intention, where they are really walking you through, okay, for 10 minutes, this is the activity we're going to do. And they give you some guidance on that. And then for the next 10 minutes, this is the activity we're going to do. And the DMO planner works with that because you're writing down the names of the conversations, the Juice Plus conversations. Now, I don't encourage you to write down that you sent somebody a happy birthday message. Personally, I don't like happy birthday messages. I'm just saying, anytime somebody out of the blue sends me a happy birthday message, I go to their Facebook profile. Are they selling me something? I still think that. And a lot of times they are. It's a network marketing thing. I think it's better to just acknowledge something that's on their wall, and then give them a compliment about it, and then ask them a question to start a conversation. Or if you really know them, send them a genuine birthday message, but just an out of the blue, you've never spoken to them before birthday message, it feels salesy to me. That's just my opinion. So I'm not encouraging guys to write those type of names down. I want you to use the planner for actual Juice Plus conversations or business conversations, and start tracking that activity versus just all the activity maybe that you're trying to get conversation started. Once it's gone to the product or the business, that's where you write it into the planner. So I hope this information has helped you guys. Really, it's a heart of gratitude that I give back. So many people have poured into me, and this information is not new. It's not something something I made up. This is the teaching of the amazing community that we get to be a part of. And, you know, it's one thing to see myself promoted and to work to that national marketing director promotion, but just something else when you get to promote somebody on your team. And that's my Gloria Hare. I'm so proud of her. And it's just, you know, there's success for herself, but when we share that success with other people, it's just such a beautiful thing. And that's really how I feel about this whole DMO, you know, pro and the planner and all of it. It's just a way for me to serve this community that's given so much to me. So thank you so much, Anita and Amy, for allowing me to come on and share with you guys today. I value you and I value your team and your people. And really, it's just an honor to be here. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Stacy. Thanks all of y'all.
You're
Oh
welcome.
my goodness, Stacy, you have poured into us so much tonight, and I know that everybody listening to you wants to say thank you. You know, we learned that a consistent DMO is essential, but Stacy gave us the details and the verbiage to help make it easy. And I'm excited to use the planner. I've got my planner right here, and I'm excited Stacy's planner to be even more productive. So we are just so blessed by what you've shared tonight, Stacy, and just how you poured into each and every one of us. And a couple things that I heard or I learned that I'd not heard before. People are not duplicatable, but systems are. And now we have the system. So go out and order your planner. If you don't have one, then order yours right away and start using Stacy's system to be more effective. Another thing, and I wrote this down because I'm going to start using this. The juice. So if I have a customer that isn't taking their plus, I'm going to make sure that I, with a smile, tell them that. And with that, Stacy, we'll go ahead and close out the call tonight. But thank you so much again for sharing and just for pouring into our team. And we're excited to use this and to be on your Monday calls as well. So thank you for opening that to all of us. So thank you everyone for joining us, and good night.
Thank y'all.